Good morning, class. Hope and pray you all are safe and healthy. Today we are going to do chapter number 12, active and passive voice. There are two ways to express an action of a subject in relation to its object. Means to say, without changing meaning, we can express an action of a subject in two different ways. One is active voice and the other is passive voice. The verb that expresses the action done by the subject is said to be in the active voice, and the verb that expresses what is done to the subject is called passive voice. Let's read this example. The leopard chased antelope. In this sentence, subject the leopard is doing action. So this is sentence of active voice. And in the other sentence, the antelope was chased by the leopard. Here subject is not doing anything, but here the verb is expressing what is done to the subject. So this is example of passive voice. Let's find out uses of passive voice. We prefer passive voice when the doer of the action is unknown or that is irrelevant. We also prefer a passive voice when we talk about any journal truth. And when we want to give any special attention to the person or thing acted on, we prefer use of passive voice. Students, in sentences of passive voice, preposition by, by, that is used. Generally, not every time, there are some exceptions also. For example, these pictures were painted by children. Here by is used. In active voice, subject acts upon object. But in passive voice, object is acted upon by subject. We can also say that in active voice, subject does a work on object, and in passive voice, object is worked on by subject. The normal structure of an active voice sentence is subject plus verb plus object, but in passive voice, structure of the sentence comes in reverse position, means firstly object, then verb, then subject. And the most important thing, maybe we are writing any sentence in active voice, maybe in passive voice, meaning of the sentence remains same, that remains unchanged. Now let's find out some rules for interchange of active and passive voice. All of first, subject and object are interchanged, means to say subject is changed into object and object is changed into subject. Next, the preposition by, that is usually added before the object in passive voice. Third form of verb, means to say past participle form of verb is used in passive voice. A new helping verb is added to the past participle form of verb, and that helping verb we add according to the tense given in the active voice. Next rule is, if the subject or the object in active voice sentence is a pronoun, then it changes. I is changed into me, we is changed into us, you remains you, he into him, she into her, they into them, and it remains it. For example, I wrote a letter. Here I, this subject will be changed into object, and we will get the sentence a letter was written by me. Here I was changed into me. Next rule is, if the subject in the active voice sentence is unknown or unimportant, then we omit by plus object. For example, we make butter from cow's milk. This is active voice, and when we will change this into passive, we will get sentence butter is made from cow's milk. Here we don't need to add by us. We can omit by plus object in this kind of sentences. Rule is, if the verb in the active voice sentence has a modal, then verb is changed into modal plus be plus third form of verb. For example, Rajesh can lift this box. In this sentence, can is modal, and in passive voice it will be changed into this box can be lifted. After can we will add be, then third form of verb. This box can be lifted by Rajesh. Next rule is, when there are two objects, many times in a sentence there are two objects, we can change any of those two objects as subject. For example, he told me a story. In this sentence, me and story, these are two objects, and we can change any of these two as subject. When we will change me into subject, we will get I was told a story by him. And when we will change a story into subject, then we will having the sentence a story was told to me by him. Now let's find out how we can change sentences of different tenses into passive voice. Before I start telling you different tenses, let's revise rules. All of first subject and object are interchanged. In passive voice, third form of verb is used. Helping verb is used according to the tense of active voice. In passive voice, preposition by is used. Firstly, present simple. He eats an apple. Eats, simple present. So helping verb will be is, am, or are according to the number of the subject. An apple is eaten by him. Present continuous. He is eating an apple. In continuous tense, being. This is used after helping verb. Passive voice will be an apple is being eaten by him. Present perfect, he has eaten an apple. In perfect tense, after has been is used. An apple has been eaten by him. Now, past simple, he ate an apple. In past tense, simple past tense, helping verb will be was or were according to the number of the subject. An apple was eaten by him. Past continuous, he was eating an apple. Like present continuous, we will add being after helping verb. An apple was being eaten by him. Past perfect tense, he had eaten an apple. After had, we will add been. An apple had been eaten by him. Future simple, he will eat an apple. After will, we will add be and then third form. An apple will be eaten by him. Now future perfect, he will have eaten an apple. After have, we will add been. An apple will have been eaten by him. Students, if you see carefully this given table, you will find that some kinds of tenses are missing here. Means to say, there are some kinds of tenses which are not changed into passive voice. These are present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, future perfect continuous, and future continuous. Students, remember that these four kinds of tenses are not changed into passive voice. And the sentences which are constructed using verb to be, those are also not changed into passive voice. For example, Hariharan is a good boy. Here in this sentence this is construction of to be, so this sentence will not be changed into passive voice. And the sentences which are having intransitive verbs, for example, the baby sleeps, he has gone to the market, these kind of sentences are also not changed into passive voice. Students, maybe we are writing any sentence in active voice, maybe in passive voice, meaning remains same. Both kind of voice is having its own importance. Beta, revise this chapter carefully and try to do its exercise. Thank you and have a nice day.